Hello and welcome to Wing Chun Online. One of the first things you're probably going to be asking yourself is, can I learn Wing Chun by watching videos? Yes, you can. What I'm going to look at now, I'm going to take you through what we're all about, what the system's about, and how to use this site. We need to look at certain areas within your training. Okay, if I give you a strike, certain areas that we're going to need, make sure you keep your hands up, that's it. Because again, you don't know how fast somebody's going to be. That skinny kid, never underestimate them. There might be some featherweight champion. We're going to look at not only your street self-defense and how to defend against somebody coming in and attacking with a strike, but not having that strike thrown in the first place. Remember, this is an element of self-defense. You're going to ask yourself as well, am I all right to train this on my own? What if I can't get to a school? Well, that's fine. There's so much of your training is going to be needed solo. So the solo element is vital, but so is having your buddy system. At some point you are going to need a training partner. But how do you find that buddy? Well, there's a couple of ways. Through our forum, this is our internet community. If you are on Facebook, get some of your friends to train different areas. They can train solo, maybe once a week, then you come together, you play chi sao, you drill, you go through forms. If you've got any questions, if things develop from those meetings, great, get on the forum, ask me directly. We have a team of instructors, including myself of course, waiting to answer these questions. If you've got a question that's quite appealing to everybody, that is a good point, then rather than just answering that in text, we will make videos for you. We'll describe in detail the answers that you are looking for. That's one of the great benefits of this site, is that the library is always expanding. Again, don't take things on face value. The punches we're going to use is going to be the same arm, same leg, and just a straight step in. Is this a realistic punch? Of course it's not. Absolutely not. But you don't need guesswork on what hand, what angle. That is why we're using this kind of punch. In reality, when we've defended this, whenever we've done whatever technique we're going to do, at this point, we're fully aware there's another hand, and that may well come in. So before we get to that, remember the stages of learning. Learn the shapes, learn how to defend with them, then we can learn to defend and counterattack. When a realistic punch comes in and you find yourself in this position, that backhand being a threat, we need to take care of that immediately. We need to be aware of that, and you will develop this confidence over time. When you've got your training buddy, some of the ways we're going to be looking at your studies is going to be very, very basic. Punches, for instance, same arm, same leg. When he comes in for a strike, this is just allowing me to get out of range, to understand moving the body mass. If we're doing pack sows as a drill, this is impractical apart from the fact of the understanding of closing down range. The reality of a punch coming in is actually going to be far greater. And this is what we're going to be building up to through your classes. Sambok Ma is another drill that's often misunderstood. When we're using this technique, it's all well and good, but what's the purpose? What are we learning from that? Basically, one of the main things is body mass. What if someone comes in with an attack, a kick, and you panic, and it moves you out? Well, this is a way of me using my Sambok Ma mentality. What if maybe someone is coming in for a grapple, for a tussle, here. Again, this is another way of being able to use your Sambok Ma stepping. Some of the drills that we're going to be doing as well, pack sows for instance. You know, when we're doing, can I use you for pack sow techniques? This on a very basic level, we're going to be looking at breaking this down, the step in, the pack sow, the punch. This is a technique, the terminology doesn't matter for now if you don't know what I'm talking about. You're going to step, pack and then punch. Of course, that again looks ridiculous on its own merit. We need to realize as we get better, relaxing guards, and this becomes a more realistic technique. How do we use that in the street? Well, in the street, if you just get a guard up, a more realistic approach for this, how do I get toward him? I can use this same principle as a way of closing that distance down. Again, he's got a guard from here, I can just step in. Always, once again, being aware of that backhand. So we see, thank you Mike, we see how we're going to look at things in a very, very simple, basic approach. Learn those first, study, practice, drill. Get together with your buddy, train these safely, in these very basic principles and stages. After that, then we can start to use this in a more realistic manner.